Welcome to my little Toronto garage suite apartment. My couch, my candle, my incense, my disco ball. It's a Thursday afternoon, the day before Halloween. Hey, friends, we are fearless. Welcome to the This Fearless Life podcast. My name is Frances Young, and we're going to keep it short and sweet today. I wanted to have a touch base moment that was checking in, letting you know what's going on, sort of, in my life with respect to a certain amount of privacy, but just to be like, hey, friends, how the fuck are you? It's almost November in 2025, and right now, the highs and lows of life for most individuals are very, very high and also very, very low. The collectiveness of what is happening in Toronto, Ontario, let alone Canada, if you are not a baseball fan, that is fine. You are now a baseball fan. The Toronto Blue Jays, which is the only Canadian baseball team in the world, is fighting in the World Series. We have 2 more games to go. And yes, Game 6 is happening on Halloween. You better guess that every single Torontonian that is a baseball fan of some kind is dressing as the Toronto Blue Jays. We give you credit this year for putting something on that's not potentially your normal, whatever. That's a huge high. This is going to be the biggest, baddest thing that we've ever seen happen to Toronto since they won last time in 1993. Thank God I was alive. But, something like this hasn't happened to Toronto since 2019 when the Raptors won the NBA. That was pre-COVID. That was a whole other life. This is something that this city needs. So, Toronto Blue Jays, if any of you listen to this, I already know you're going to win. There is something in the magic of this Halloween year here in Toronto and in Canada that's a little bit different. So, that's a huge high. This is something that this country, let alone this city, we're scared, we're excited, we're in this collective, holy shit, it's actually happening moment. So, bring it home, boys. You got this. Now, that's a high. What's the low? What is your low? Is there an internal conversation right now that you're like, holy, this is a lot for me to handle? Whether you're dealing with someone in your life that is ill, someone you've just had something happen to yourself, someone has left your life in some way, you are struggling at your job. The highs of the Toronto Blue Jay collectiveness is kind of pushing away all of these other things, masquerading this dichotomy of what could be going on inside or in your personal life right now. There are so many different ways in which this is showing up around the world collectively. And I feel like it's just adding to the what is my purpose? What is the meaning? I'm waking up because I do not want to be in the same reality tomorrow that I am currently sitting in today. To give you just a snapshot of my little world, my little highs and lows that I've been witnessing in myself, to get a little vulnerable with you and show you that even for myself, someone self-aware, I look after myself, I look after my world, my clients, my work. I feel like I am, let's call it, ascending in this spiral of realizing I create my ultimate reality. I'm still dealing with the normal shit that happens to a human. This past week, it was my best friend long distance birthday and her husband's birthday. I can't fly there, unfortunately, right now because in Canada, the cost of flights are ridiculous. My cousin just got engaged. Let's fucking go. My family is transitioning someone into assisted living. That's a thing. That's a lot. there's just a lot happening to me, even thinking about what is happening to humans in another part of the world that are less fortunate. We are also currently dealing in North America with a hurricane hitting some very important islands right now. Hurricane Melissa, like the highs of Toronto Blue Jays, I'm going to bring it back, and the low of Hurricane Melissa in North America. Holy shit. What else is happening? Oh, yeah. Taylor Swift dropped a new album. We got to mention it. My dance classes are back on, but yet we're all dealing with our own reality as dancers when we come into class. We're all trying to keep it light. I am a Canadian. This is being released in Canada. I watch the United States right now, and I just don't. I literally have no words. Just to throw it in there to let you all know, we're back on the dating scene. We're figuring it the fuck out. Honestly, I have a lot of hope right now. That is a snapshot of what is going through my head every single day and shit that's happening for me. But I am someone that holds a lot of space for a lot of different humans. What I can tell you is, as much as we're all going through our own personal highs and lows, connecting with someone about their physical movement and about just something that makes them feel good, that makes them feel better than they did when I walked in the door or said hi to them when they walked into the gym. I have never felt more fulfilled in my entire PT, fitness, health, wellness career than I have this fall. I've felt fulfilled at many different times, but the recircling of understanding that I am making a difference in someone's life in a very short period of time, for how else they're going to carry themselves through a high and through a low in the rest of their day. I feel so privileged. If in this moment you needed a reminder of, you are fearless, you fucking got this, even if you're riding a high right now, Toronto Blue Jays, this is my reminder that I'm going through certain things, you're going through certain things, but we're all in this fucking thing together. I wanted to have a remembrance by giving you my personal experience of life this year with certain examples of how learning my human design has changed my life. In a very short period of time, between just August of 2025 to now, which the date is October 30th, as I record this at 2:08 p.m., how my knowledge, trying to experiment with understanding the ways in which my energy operates in my body through the system of human design. I kid you not, I give less fucks. I feel more energized even when I battle a bit of sinus for a period of Thanksgiving to literally Wednesday this week, so yesterday. Life just feels so much easier. How has learning my design changed my life? As someone who day in, day out is focusing on the health of other humans, understanding my own health in this way makes me feel much less judgmental to how I live my life, how I schedule myself, when I am messaging others, how I work out, how I eat at different times in the month with regards to my female cycle. I feel so much less self-criticism, which is massive for this Leo sun, Cancer rising, Aries moon. From this, I no longer worry what my body looks like. I'm busy worrying about literally what I'm going to talk about on a podcast week to week, because I'm just so excited that I know and understand this thing and get to talk to people about it. One piece that I've realized time and time again that's specific to my design, that continues to cascade me into a place of feeling the most me, which to me just means that I have energy to do whatever I want to do. I am a generator. In human design, that is an energy type. I am one of 5 energy types that exist in this system. Every single person has a way as to which their body is telling them this isn't quite right for you. A way in which your body is energetically powering you down, saying, no, don't go out to that party. I think you should stay home. Or, I don't know if you should keep hanging out with this person because every time you do, you feel depleted afterwards. In general, who you spend your time around energetically either drains you or gives you energy. We relate this also to looking at our human design. One thing about a generator, about my energy telling me, no, don't go do that thing. It's called you're not self in the human design system. What my body will tell me is that I am frustrated. I will feel stuck. I just don't understand why things in my life aren't feeling as though they are moving forwards. Whether I feel super depleted after, yes, hanging out with someone, after training a particular client, after working in a particular space, the tells are there, but sometimes you just don't realize until a few months along that you're doing said thing and you need to change. You need to reroute because your body has told you enough times that you are frustrated. It's either made you sick. It's either made you cancel. It's either made you do something against what you said you were going to do because you finally got the fucking light bulb to turn on in your body and it said, don't go do that. No, change course. I was feeling a lot of frustration, a lot of energetic stubbornness. I have 2 cardinal signs and a fixed fire sun. When it comes to if I set my mind to something or I've initially gotten excited doing something, I'm all in. If I get cues, post, and something is telling me something isn't flowing, I get frustrated. I shut down. When this happens over and over again, I still don't give up. It's a blessing and something I have been learning how to wake up and witness myself being like, abort, abort, I need to go in the opposite direction. For my body as a generator, when you go deep on human design, I have a sacral center that is colored in. When you are looking at human design graphs, that is a square above the bottom square. This is where my energy is telling me, yeah, do the thing. It's giving me this up through my center, yes. But when my frustration happens, this is something I figured out recently in a meditation, if something tells me no, I first feel it in my heart and then it sinks to my gut. Maybe that'll resonate for someone out there. And I want you to know that back in between the months of January to the end of March, energy was so slow around me, draining from me in certain ways. I kid you not. My work was slow. My energy was slow. The weather was shit because it just so happened to be winter. My bank account was slow. I was feeling uninspired about my podcast. I even announced somewhere, somehow, that I was putting part of it on pause. I took part of it down. I put all systems stop on a lot of aspects in my life, and I didn't know what I was doing. It felt like a whole system reset. And then I'd still set all these New Year's goals at the beginning of 2025. Goals, I did the whole grape wishes thing with some friends at the time. And I had my goals posted next to my bed for the year. And through all of these times, these 3 months, which in context doesn't feel like that long of a time, I was like, how the fuck am I going to achieve this when my life feels like it's standing still and I have no idea what I am doing? And I've been in this situation more times than I can count. But this one felt like another level up of why the fuck am I here again? I've worked so hard to understand this human design system in my body. I was so blind to my own frustration and not self. So blind. So we took a chance. And as a generator, generators need new environments all the time. We need to put ourselves in a different path, walking down the street, potentially walk into a new restaurant because we saw a recipe, a new dish, a special, and we thought, I need to try that. Generators are, and manifesting generators, we are trying to respond to the buffet of life in front of us. We need new options. We literally need new things to stimulate new ideas. We cannot sit on our couch and come up with an idea for a podcast unless I'm out in the world at my favorite coffee shop, knowing that I've got my human design book in front of me. I'm chatting on my phone. Like, I need stimulus. I just can't meditate and come up with the world's greatest idea and think that it's going to change the world. That's not it. That's not how I'm designed. Manifester, maybe that's for you. That's another conversation. In the middle of March, I walked into a brand new studio, steps away from my home. I walked into KSA Fitness. I said hi. I started a conversation with the owner. And there were a lot of other things that started to change. I needed to say goodbye to certain people in my life, and I needed to make space for new energy to come in. I was so frustrated, so stubbornly, no, I need to make this work in certain ways because I've worked with these clients. I love this human. Wow, I was blind to myself. Then all of a sudden, my body shut down. I got really sick. I got really sick the first week of April. It was a reset. My system was literally having a reboot. Then newness literally popped out of, I kid you not, nowhere. I ended up gaining a new best friend, an adult new best friend. She's been on the podcast. Go listen to it. It was last week. Deanna. New clients out of nowhere. I got clients from, yes, walking into a new fitness studio. I also started getting new clients just messaging me, or I ran into them on the street. Again, I got new asks from other people to be like, hey, can you come be a part of this class? Because we really want to learn human design from you. I had a dance performance in May. Is my second biggest performance of my life at this point, after a few years from not performing as a professional dancer. And you know what? This is something I do need to say to the world. And I think it's for my own healing and process of life as Frances. I have had a complex. I've been working a complex, a pattern that I seek the approval of others. This could also be a Leo thing, but it is also from my own experience as a child seeking approval from my parents. This is also a generator thing. If you're a generator listening to this, feeling like you need to do something in order to think that you're going to receive praise to make your system feel good, it's going to be a never-ending battle. I always wanted to impress my parents with these performances as a kid, from when I was 7 years old until literally I finally feel like this year, I didn't care who came to my performance this year. For the first time in my entire life, I truly felt like I was dancing for myself. And that show was one of the best shows I know I have ever had. That took a long time to release the need of, I really want this person to come. There's something within me that feels like I should be impressing them in order to receive approval or just get enough likes or insert XYZ of how I could be talking to myself in my brain about approval and wanting to feel seen. I truly knew in that performance, I did not give a rat's ass. If there was literally anybody in the seat cheering for me, in the stands, in the theater. So that was a really big win for me this year. In the summer, I had a badass summer. I just got myself off apps. I was not messaging a lot of humans. I became friends with a 2-year-old, and I also started new courses. I got really into medical astrology. Coming in the next season, I'm going to talk to you about medical astrology. Medical astrology, folks, is the next layer, one of the most ancient ways of looking at the human body and to help it in its health journey of life from being born to dying. If we understand our energy of me being a Leo sun and what body parts for myself are super important for me, then I'm going to know that these types of foods are really good for a Leo sun, Cancer rising, Aries moon. With certain aspects in my energy, my 6th house has XYZ. I know that my 12th house has XYZ. These are medical astrology terms. I'm going to better understand that at this time of year in this cycle of the month is going to be the best time for me to get pregnant. That's cool shit. Or my thighs, glutes, and hips are one of the most important aspects of my physical body on a day-to-day to keep healthy because I have a 6th house of Sagittarius. If we understand these weird quirks about us, it's going to be so much easier to better understand what type of health knowledge that is being bombarded to us day in and day out is right for us. That was something I got really nerdy on this year. That just easily came to me because I was not in my frustration mode. What else happened? My birthday, my podcast, my community feeling like it was actually a community again. Then I had a holiday. I actually took a vacation this year. It came up easily. I got to spend no money, basically. Went out to go party with my best friend, her husband, and their dogs out in Manitoba. Then we just got really deep into my client relationships in September and October. And yes, folks, we ended up going back on dating apps in September. Here we are. It's the end of October. Wow, life got fast once I got out of my own goddamn way. And things started to flow. Me, as a generator, I didn't have to work so hard. I just literally walked out the door, walked into a new studio, and life started to flow. But there were a lot of things I had to say no to first. A lot of things. One thing I can tell you from being a generator, really witnessing the flow of my life, is that when we get out of our own way and we truly listen to the excitement and we truly listen to the, I don't know, moments or when we need to pause on making a certain decision to get a little more clarity without going into specifics about human design right now, it just gets a little bit easier. I pause and I sit here and just taking in the moment of it gets a little bit easier. Life is not meant to feel so fucking complicated. Literally this week, I was having a conversation with a girlfriend and with something that was happening for me in my personal life. I was overthinking something. I wanted to do it what felt the best, right way. And I was literally torturing myself. I was torturing myself, my own energy, making myself feel frustrated for no reason because I was stubborn about one particular way as to how I wanted to deal with this aspect of my life. But yet my mood that day was still so fucking high. Right now, I have been walking around feeling like a glowing ball of sunshine. And that is not to gloat. That is just to say, I've dealt with my shit. I'm working on it. But right now, I actually feel really great. Clients are in a great place. This is in a great place. This is in a great place. Why would I try and fucking complain about something that I can't fix? Why would I complain about trying to just figure out how to make sure that I am dealing with a situation that feels as though I am not hurting someone else, but in the process of trying to not hurt somebody else, I'm actually just hurting myself? We had a realization. We're usually just hurting ourselves by not listening to ourselves, by not doing the thing that we may fear most. So how learning my human design has changed my life? It's allowed me, even in this year, another year of knowing that I'm a generator, these highs of excitement and the no's that are draining me. If anything is draining me, I drop it. It's not flowing with me. I do not put any type of expectation around, I need this thing. I need to keep going with the thing. I just let it go. And honestly, life is way simpler and has gotten way smoother. And I still don't know where the fuck we're going tomorrow, but that's fine. Because I'm okay with knowing that I'm trusting myself and that I'm fearless. Okay, part 3. We made it. I really want to precurse going into 2026 with letting you know just kind of initial ideas that I'm going to have with this podcast. Because I think it's still going to keep going. There's an aspect of my creative nature. We're in Scorpio season right now. If you didn't realize that I mentioned that it's Halloween tomorrow, and now today as it's being released, this is an alchemic time. Literally anything can happen. It's way more ethereal and exciting and eerie in a good way than I feel like eclipse season is to me. Eclipse season is just like spaghetti being thrown at a fan and seeing what sticks and what gets blown back at you. Halloween and Scorpio season to me, as much as not every single human loves Scorpio season for their relation to how they see Scorpio and the Scorpio zodiac sign, to me, it feels gooey and raw and exciting. It's also, for me, it happens to be my 5th house. 5th house is related to the sign of Leo. And 5th house is all the amount of creativity, childlike playfulness, and is also the house of romance. Right now, we're definitely feeling frisky. We're definitely feeling the anything can happen in any aspect of my life, including where this podcast goes. We're throwing out into the universe that in 2026, I fully want to bring together the 3 parts of my work into this podcast. Because I do it with my guests. I have guests that are trainers. I have guests that are astrologers. I have guests that are just humans that I think are cool, that you need to know their story of life and how I help them realize that they're doing life the way that they're energetically designed to do it. They're explaining their human design live on the spot. I also want this to be more educational than just the laughter that has come in and out, and from the evolution of all the types of ideas I've had and have experimented with on this podcast. I want to talk to you a little bit about strength training. I want to talk to you a little bit about stretch therapy. And I want to talk to you a lot more about how to combine that with certain aspects of your human design. In human design, there are a few nerdy bits for myself that really combine well with strength training and stretch therapy, and how I just speak to my clients in a session, just shooting the shit about life. There are 4 arrows around the top of a human design graph, and these relate specifically to our digestion, what we intake as food, to the information that we listen to and that is in front of our face on our goddamn phones. Any way we take in information, what we listen to, what we see driving down the Gardiner. That's a highway in Toronto, folks, for those that don't live in Toronto. There's an arrow about environment that tells us where we best most feel ourselves in the world. There are some people that loathe, they detest cities. They need to be out in nature. We know this. So this is actually said in our human design chart as well. There's a way as to which I see the world that someone else listening to this podcast may not see the world in the same way I do. This is called perspective in human design. How I see things is very different from my mother. We are also very different energy types. Shout out to Mom, love you. But again, the way we see the world is meant to be different for our own eyes to receive the things that we want most. Our perspective in human design is related to how we physically bring what we want into our reality, otherwise known as manifestation. Last but not least, there is another arrow that is linked to our motivation. This is this little like light bulb, kind of like light switch moment in our brain that turns on when we are like, I need to do this thing. And this is a cue. This is a moment that someone will feel that it is also very different person to person. I want to get nerdy explaining what these arrows mean, how they relate to our health, how they relate to how you work out. And there's one other really cool aspect about the chakras, about the triangles and squares, looking at a human design graph, that when we understand how these operate, we better understand why we feel a certain type of energy from ourselves in our own body, as opposed to also how much we feel from the world. We can say that certain people have different levels of empathy, of how much we feel from others. Some people in their human design graph will have an entirely white graph. These are reflectors. The amount of empathy that those humans have is on a whole other level, but they might not even realize that that is why they feel the way that they feel. If humans knew why they felt the things that they felt in relation to energetically how their system is set up, we might be able to solve the issues of self-judgment and self-criticism that all humans deal with. I don't know, maybe we'll fully solve it. My internal conundrum of understanding that life is always going to give us a new high and always going to give us a new low of just the experience of what it is to be a human. Coming back to the level of empathy that humans feel, it's always going to be different. But if we understand from what parts of our body are taking in the world a little bit more than other parts, we might be able to realize in a split second, oh, that thought was meant for somebody else. Oh, that emotion's not mine. Oh, that was a splenic hit of, I think I should walk down this alley, but actually maybe that was meant for someone else. If we learn our human design, then I feel like humans will realize that they are actually superhuman. They are actually way more capable of doing and receiving and achieving everything that they have ever wanted. That much faster, with that much more enthusiasm. The sky is the limit. Those are all the things I really want to get nerdy on, that I really want for you to come to listen to a Fearless Friday episode of the This Fearless Life podcast, to get tips on how to deadlift. And if you're a generator with this profile and these chakras within your human design graph open and closed, experiment with this type of workout, see how this goes, and get back to me. That's the type of shit I want to go deep on. This is what's coming in what will be season 6 of this Fearless Life podcast. To wrap up this episode, we've been on a few rambles. I hope you've been able to follow my stories. I'm just in a place where I'm really grateful that I'm still creating this thing, that some person in the world is listening to it. Going back to the highs and the lows, go Toronto Blue Jays, of what life is being a human right now. There is so much information in the world. We're on overload. There is so much destruction. And there is also so much light. And I'm just here witnessing my own little bubble, my own little moment. And what keeps me sane, what keeps me grounded at a time where I could be worrying about so many different things, is the small moments of taking a breath with a client, telling someone to breathe in and to breathe out. Just sitting them in my brain, with myself, watching them, trying to be present with that breath with them. That's a way I keep grounded. That's a way I keep the mental chatter at bay. Being able to put on my headphones with my phone and the songs that I just have on repeat times a million right now. Having my own little momentary dance party, lighting a candle in my apartment that I just bought that was $5 as opposed to going to HomeSense and spending fucking $50. These very small moments are how I'm keeping sane, and how maybe just to remind you in this moment of how precious your health is, of how precious the fact that I live in a first world country, the ways of which media is saying I should care about certain things and who's dating who and what's up. It's all just a mirage. I am reminding myself daily that I am fearless, just doing my thing, being my quirky little self, obsessed with the things that I love and that make me excited. I am changing the world for the better. That all the things that I want are coming to me. These are the ways as to which, at a great time of change for our planet as a whole, I know that tomorrow is going to be an even better day than today. I hope that this little podcast excitement of just getting a little vulnerable with my life today in the current moment of October of 2025, I can cheer on the Blue Jays. Let's go, Blue Jays! Game 6! Even though I'm not really a baseball fan, guys, I watch the Google updates on my phone while I watch Netflix because I can't take the anxiety, let alone don't want to be out in the world that late at night. To remind you that you are fearless and that you've got this. Take that breath in. Let it all go. Shake it all about. Have a little Sharon Lois and Brown moment and shake it all about. And do the hokey pokey, because life is too short to be worried about trying to control what tomorrow is going to bring you.